Hey everyone, thanks for coming back. I'm Jennifer and this is my YouTube 2020 recap. Today I want to talk about my successes and my fails on YouTube this year, what I learned, and then I want to talk about my future goals for 2021 for YouTube and for me creatively. So first I want to talk about my personal successes on YouTube. I actually started this just for fun. I'm still doing it just for fun. So I would say that I did succeed at that. I had some decent luck with a couple of my videos, my top videos being the Cinebloom versus Tiffen Promise video that I did, which I'm actually going to look right now on my cell phone and see where that's at, because as of yesterday it was close to 1,000 views, and if you look at my stuff you'll see that that is huge for me. So I'm pretty excited about that milestone. I'm gonna see if I've hit it yet. So I do have a microphone video that I put out about a month ago, which is one of my better videos that has started to sort of trend for some reason. Has 215, which is fairly decent for my channel. I did a Peter McKinnon Variable ND Mist Edition video, which is climbing up into the 300s now. My Cinebloom versus Tiffen Promise has 999 views right now. I'm really excited about that. I never thought like a few months ago that I would have even like 200 views on any of my videos. A lot of mine average like around 50 views-ish. So some of them even lower. And I did also a why I'm sticking with the EOS R in 2020, which currently has 304 views. I'm super pleased with that. I really like that and I do want to progress, but I call those successes for 2020. I'm really pumped about that. The biggest other things were I learned something in every single video. I got better audio. I learned to color grade better. I upgraded some of my gear, and you can see that progression just over a 6-month period. I've learned so much and I've gained a lot of traction with upping my production value. So I'm really proud of that and I'm really happy to continue in that direction. I don't know if I should call them failures, but things that I wish had been better in 2020 for me on YouTube. I started off really slow. I actually didn't start uploading weekly until about May. So I had probably like 2 to 3 videos that I had done over late 2019 into 2020. I wasn't uploading regularly at all, and that content was not in my current niche. So it was video content that I had produced, but technically I'm only about 7 months into my first year of YouTube. I wish that I'd sort of worked out my niche a little bit sooner, but some of my videos just are a little bit weird in the beginning. Again, not really a failure, but just something to think about for the future, and I'm plugging away now. I just need to work so much more on my B-roll. I know that they say nobody likes to watch a talking head all day long unless it's Peter McKinnon, and even then, I try to get as much B-roll as possible, but I'm still just not hitting the mark of where I need to be with B-rolls. I don't know if that's a fail, but it certainly probably makes people bored quicker and then they're not watching through my whole video. I also want to talk about what I learned this year. So as of late, in the latter part of the year, I won't bore you too much with the details, but I've actually started to look into kind of analytics and how to make videos clickable and what's working for me. So I don't really have any monetary goals right now for that, but I am learning how to get more views. Trying not to obsess about that too much, but though I do this for fun, I'd like to get something out of it, some more views and some more interaction with subscribers. So I'm learning about, again, production value and how to get people in the door, better thumbnails, all those kinds of things that I've really just kind of started diving into in the last couple months. I've also become a lot more confident on camera. I kind of started out doing scripts and it was really hard for me to memorize. I found it very difficult to stare into the lens and memorize the stuff that I had written down. So then I started actually doing voiceover so that I could read it. And I actually thought those were really good, but then it's all B-roll. Your A-roll is your B-roll. So I didn't really like that much. And I got kind of obsessed with the backdrop thing, which I probably should spend less time obsessing over that. So I basically have mostly been off script, just making sure I know what I'm talking about. However, that's created a lot of and like sometimes rambling, because I tend to ramble, and that's no good. So working on that. I also have been working full-time and not as much this year doing side hustles, but still doing side hustles. So I have very little free time, and I have given every single part of my free time to YouTube. It's really difficult to upload weekly, and I would love to be someone who's uploading a couple times a week. It's gonna be really difficult. I took no time off in 2020 whatsoever. I do not regret it. I enjoy everything I do on YouTube, and I really love giving all my free time to this. So it's definitely not a complaint, but I just learned how difficult that is. And I'm actually starting tomorrow, I will be taking a week off. So not from YouTube, from working. So I'm planning to produce several videos to give myself a jump start into the next year, and hoping to try to kind of follow that trend to be able to continue farther. And finally, 2021 goals. These are all just going to be YouTube or personal creative goals. Again, I don't have any monetary goals, especially because I think that it takes a long time and you still can't really make a lot of money off YouTube just from like ads, which everybody knows if they've done any sort of research. But I would like to reach 1,000 subscribers this year. I think I currently have 75. It was very slow going, but I did definitely at least double in the last 6 months, probably more. I don't remember where I started, so I'd like to have 1,000, maybe get monetized. I'd like to have a lot more interaction with subscribers and get some new people on, just to have those connections. I really enjoy talking to people about all of this stuff, everything I do, photography, video, gear, other photographers. I love learning and I love teaching. So I'm hoping to have a little bit more of a community for that. So as far as personal creative goals, number one, I really want to produce something just for myself, because even though I'm definitely making these videos for myself, it's kind of like nonfiction content, and I'm not necessarily saying that I want to make a narrative film, but I'd like to do something really strictly for myself that isn't necessarily YouTube content, one project. And then also by trade, I'm a wedding photographer. Haven't really talked about that on my YouTube channel because I've had a difficulty kind of like bringing it into my niche. I'm sort of not your typical looking, I guess, wedding photographer. So it's hard for me to kind of mix my like kind of darker themed stuff with my wedding photography, which really is not dark at all by nature. So I did start doing hybrid this year, meaning photo and video at the same time. I have a couple of wedding films on my YouTube, and really my biggest goal this year is to full-fledged go into video and create a really big portfolio to complement my already like very substantial photography portfolio in weddings. So building that client base for video and kind of getting some really, really great films that I can share online and that I can learn and grow with other people. And I'd love to teach. So yeah, that's where I'm at for personal goals. I think it's super attainable, and I'm ready for it. That was a weird thing to say. In closing, I've been talking a lot about my short film called The Notes that I created earlier this year for the Maine Mayhem Film Festival. I did that with Southern Maine Community College. And I don't think I have to tell you why that didn't run, and maybe you have seen some of my videos talking about this. I have decided that I'm going to premiere the video on this YouTube channel on the 31st. So December 31st, there will be a premiere for that film and everybody can watch it. A lot of people have been asking me about it, so it's happening. I know that some people who had films are probably going to have their films seen at the 2021 Maine Mayhem, but I decided I'd rather just use that content on my YouTube to show it to kind of the collective world instead of just in my small community. And I also kind of wanted to leave that space for the new Mayhem people, just because I feel like my time has passed. So now it's somebody else's turn to enjoy the glory of the horror of the film set and the premiere for themselves. So I'm pretty excited about that. I hope everybody comes back to see it. I will put up a premiere so you can see what time it's gonna end up being at. And I hope everybody watches it and enjoys it and gives me some awesome feedback. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I look forward to seeing everybody else's year recaps. I saw a couple 2021 goals videos already up on YouTube. I think it's super fun, even though a lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions. I prefer to think of them as goals that I'm actually going to try to accomplish rather than a New Year's resolution. But send me yours if you have it. I'd love to see it. Thanks again.